When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Big Nerd Pub Quiz, or should I say, Big Nerd Love Quiz. It's the Valentine's Day special here at Big Nerd Pub Quiz headquarters, coming to you live from Harbourside Radio studios here in Warren Point, County Down. Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a lovely Valentine's Day wherever you are. Tell you what, the weather today was not like this. As you can see behind me, this is what Warren Point looks like when the weather is actually quite nice. However, we got battered today by absolutely mad storms. Like the sea was practically coming over onto the roads. And I was lucky enough to get in today. Lucky that they weren't flooded and was stranded out in Vestrevor. But thank you very much for joining me this evening in this very romantic Valentine's Day 2021. Tonight, I've got a very, very special quiz for you. All Valentine's Day related and themed, all about love and stuff like that. So let's fire on and show you tonight's quiz. But if this is your first time, this is how you play Big Nerd Love Quiz. Very straightforward. All you have to do is scan the QR code here. Access the Google answer sheet, which is also in the link of the YouTube description or Facebook description below. Once you got it open, you'll see an option to enter in your team name. Email address is also required to submit the form. 8 rounds, 6 questions each, only one correct answer per question, and no trick questions from me. Never do those. Answer the questions as I ask them. You'll have an option of 4 answers per question on the multiple choice, unless otherwise stated. Once the quiz is over, all you have to do is press submit. And you'll get your scores at the very, very end, but stick about. And I'll be giving out the answers and seeing where you fit in on our leaderboard. So yes, don't go anywhere. You need to see how well you've done and if your name does pop up. Don't forget, Big Nerd Pub Quiz is on HarboursideRadio.com. Tons of fantastic shows on Harbourside Radio, including this one, which I'm doing this weekend, the 24-hour Radiothon, this Saturday, the 20th of February 2021, from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day. I'm going to be here in the studio for full 24 hours presenting, and we're doing this in order to raise funds for the station. So yes, head to HarboursideRadio.com. There's details of the GoFundMe page and our Patreon page for the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, so don't miss that. Also, a little bit of news as well. I'm going to be on TV this week, starting on Monday the 15th. On BBC Two, a brand new quiz hosted by Zoe Lyons there. It's called Lightning. Thundered there a couple of months ago. And yeah, it's a really fun quiz. It's kind of like a mixture of 15 to 1 meets The Weakest Link. Quickfire quiz. So yes, I'm in a few episodes of that. So that's starting Monday. Tomorrow, 6:30 on BBC Two. Don't miss it. It's really fun. It was a really fun quiz to take part in. So yes, if you want to see how I fare when I'm under pressure, by all means, give that a go. Don't forget, give us a like and a share on all my different social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And smash that like and subscribe button down below on the YouTube. If you're enjoying the quiz, by all means, do consider giving to the PayPal or Patreon there. Quiz is always free to play. By all means, you can donate as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon. Massive thank you to all my supporters out there. Really, really do appreciate all the love. Don't Don't forget, you can hire the Big Nerd Pub Quiz for private events. It's the perfect activity for social distancing. It's fully customizable with questions and graphics. It's very affordable and easy to set up. More information, give us an email, bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com. And yes, you can head to the Big Nerd Pub Quiz channel and check out all the cool quizzes that I've been doing for nearly a year now. All the answer sheets are still live. You can play any of the quizzes from like Friends to Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, football. We have done a quiz practically on anything. And if you have any ideas for rounds, by all means, fire them over. But yes, tonight's quiz is a special quiz of some sorts. It's the Big Nerd Love Quiz. All questions about Valentine's Day to get you in the mood for this evening. Like I said, what could be more romantic than playing a quiz with your partner and seeing how well you can do against them? Anyway, here's your first round for tonight. It's all about the actual date of February the 14th. Or the 14th of February. I hate the way the Americans do that, actually. Should actually have changed that. The 14th of February, the correct way around. Anyway, here is your first question tonight. Good luck. I'm going to be repeating each question twice and giving a quick roundup at the very end. So let's see how you get on with this. Round one, question one. Best of luck, guys. Which city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? It's round one, question one. Nice thing to get you in the mood there. Al Capone and all his gangster buddies all involved in this would have been featured in movies like The Untouchables. But yes, round one, question one. In which city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? That's round one, question number one. I had to crop the top of the newspaper off there because I actually give the answer there. Next up, round one, question two. Which website, launched on this day in 2005, has become one of the biggest YouTube video sharing sites? So that's round one, question two. Pretty easy, this one, given... But yes, I was just looking up about big events which happened on this particular day. And yes, this happened in 2005. February the 14th, Valentine's Day. Which website launched on this day in 2005 has become one of the biggest video sharing sites? It's round one, question number two. Next up, round one, question three. On this day, in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell filed the patent for which invention? Pretty ubiquitous now. We've all got one. But the basis of this invention, again, disputed as well. Again, I have to point out that Alexander Graham Bell was one of the reputed inventors of this product. But yes, on this day, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell filed the patent for which invention? Next up, round one, question four. The Knesset is the name of the parliament of which country, which convened for the first time on this day in 1949? I had to severely crop that photograph. You see the big flag of the country on the top of the building. Looks pretty obvious. This is round one, question four. The Knesset is the name of the parliament of which country, which convened for the first time on this day in 1949. Next up, round one, question number five. Which famous children's hospital was founded on this day in London in 1852? I've got a friend of mine who works there. I actually used to cycle past this place every morning because I actually worked very near Bedford Square. So yeah, I know where it is. But just round one, question five. Which famous children's hospital was founded on this day in London in 1852? And finally, last question here today about general knowledge stuff about February the 14th. The computing tabulating recording company changed its name to what on this day in 1924? That's round one, question six. So round one, question six. The computing tabulating recording company changed its name to what on this day in 1924. It's amazing to consider how old this company is. But yes, it's been around for quite a while. And there's your roundup there about questions all about February the 14th. Like I said, just went through Wikipedia and looked up things that happened on this day. But yes, round one, question one. In which city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? To which website launched on this day in 2005 has become one of the biggest video sharing sites? 3, on this day in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell filed the patent for which invention? 4, the Knesset is the name of the parliament of which country, which convened for the first time on this day in 1949? 5, which famous children's hospital was founded on this day in London in 1852? And finally, last question, round 1, question 6, the computing tabulating recording company changed its name to what in 1924 on this day? Okay, 1 down, 7 to go. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with me at any point, by all means, give us a message on Instagram, Facebook, or on Twitter. I do try to check them at some point in the quiz. But yes, if you're looking for a little shout out or a romantic nod or a little romantic hello to somebody out there, by all means, let me know. Also, use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz for any of the shout-outs, and I'll see if I can get to you at any point. Anyway, Big Nerd Love Quiz is continuing. Here comes round number 2 for you guys. Round number 2. Love songs. Sure wouldn't be Valentine's Day without some love songs. Here's some questions, all songs about love, and that's pretty much there's quite a lot of songs if you think about it. There's particularly a lot of songs about women's names. But anyway, so love songs, round 2. Here we go. Let's test your knowledge on music. So yes, round 2, question number 1. The Beatles hit All You Need Is Love opens with the refrain from which anthem? So yes, this was a part of an international broadcast. Loads of different countries were taking part in an international satellite broadcast, kind of showing off all the different, music and culture from all the different parts of the world. And the Beatles was the UK one. I think they recorded this, they wrote this song for this. But yes, the Beatles hit All You Need Is Love opens round 2, question 2. Who wrote the Whitney Houston hit I Will Always Love You? And I Will Always Love You. So round 2, question 2. The answer may surprise you. So yes, round 2, question 2. Who wrote the Whitney Houston hit I Will Always Love You? It's round 2, question 2. Round 2, question 3. The song Loveful by the Cardigans appears on the soundtrack to which 1996 film? It's not exactly a rom-com itself, per se, no. But round 2, question 3. The song Loveful by the Cardigans, Swedish band, appears on the soundtrack to which 1996 film? It's round 2, question 3. Round 2, question 4. 69 Love Songs is a 1999 album by which American indie group? This is easily one of my favorite albums of all time. It comes in 3 CDs, and it's genuinely so much fun. There's so much variety in it. It's an incredible work. It's a really fun album. And it's got some cracking tunes in there. But yes, round 2, question 4. 69 Love Songs is a 1999 album by which American indie group? Would definitely be on my Desert Island discs, that album. Definitely getting value for your money because there is 69 love songs in it. It's round 2, question 4. Next up, round 2, question 5. God Only Knows, the 1966 Beach Boys hit, features on which critically acclaimed album? It's round 2, question 5. I've actually seen Brian Wilson perform the entire album from start to finish. on the 50th anniversary of it, the London Palladium. It's a fantastic album. It's one of my favourite albums. There's some beautiful tunes on it. Round 2, question 5. God only knows the 1966 beach. Absolutely love it. And finally, round 2, question 6. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross, or lyrics from which famous love song? It's round 2, question 6. I think try to sing it. I think I'm trying to read that out with not giving the kind of the lyrics away, which the song is. You know, I just kind of read it out as matter of fact as I can. Round 2, question 6. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me cross. Lyrics from which famous love song? It's round 2, question 6. And there you go. There's your roundup of all about love songs. So yes, the Beatles hit All You Need Is Love opens with a refrain from which anthem? 2, who wrote the Whitney Houston hit I Will Always Love You? 3, the song Loveful by the Cardigans appears on the soundtrack to which 1996 film? 4, 69 Love Songs is a 1999 album by which American indie group? 5, God Only Knows, the 1966 Beach Boys hit, features on which critically acclaimed album? And finally, I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross, or lyrics from which famous love song? Give you a couple of seconds with that before we move on to the next round. Alright, so 2 down to 6 to go here tonight on the Big Nerd Love Quiz. Hope you're all well, hope you're all wrapped up and cozy and drinking a nice little bottle of Prosecco or having some lovely chocolates and ice cream. All the stuff you do on Valentine's Day. Anyways, not that I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be just, I'm doing this quiz for you guys, which I'm really happy to do, I have to say. It's nice to have that kind of interaction on a day like this, when it's quite hard to date people, especially when you live in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, next question tonight, next set of questions tonight, all about rom-coms. It was going to be a movie round. It was definitely all going to be about romantic comedies. Let's test your knowledge. Maybe you've watched a few of these tonight or this evening. Let's test your knowledge on those. So anyway, here we go. Round 3, your movie round, all about rom-coms. Question number 1. Written by Nora Ephron, which 1989 film raised the question, can men and women ever just be friends? It's round 3, question number 1. So, which Nora Ephron film, written by Nora Ephron, 1989 film, raised the question, can men and women ever just be friends? That's round 3, question number 1. Very funny movie, though. Round 3, question number 2. In the 1987 film Dirty Dancing, starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, what was Baby Houseman's first name? So nobody puts Baby in a corner. But what is Baby's name? It's round 3, question number 2. Kind of always bugged me because the movie's meant to be set in the 60s, and yet it just really feels really 80s. Like the 60s thing was kind of like an afterthought. Anyway, moving on. Round 3, question 3. Loosely remade as You've Got Mail in 1998, which 1940 American rom-com starred Margaret Sullivan and James Stewart. It's round 3, question 3. Jimmy Stewart collaborated a lot with Alfred Hitchcock in a lot of his movies of the 50s. Considered to be one of the greatest actors of his generation, the American Everyman. Funny enough, Tom Hanks starred in the remake, You've Got Mail, with Meg Ryan. But yes, round 3, question 3, loosely remade as You've Got Mail, which 1940 American rom-com starred Margaret Sullivan and James Stewart. Round 3, question 4. John Gordon Sinclair and Dee Hepburn starred in which 1981 Scottish coming-of-age rom-com? was round 3, question 4. It's a great movie, dude. If you like your football as well, it's actually a pretty good film too. But round 3, question 4. John Gordon Sinclair and Dee Hepburn starred in which 1981 Scottish coming-of-age rom-com? It's round 3, question number 4. Next up, round 3, question 5. Who wrote the book Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was made into a film starring Audrey Hepburn? It's round 3, question 5. It's a fantastic soundtrack. Quite problematic though. I don't want to go into it, but it's one of those movies I don't really like because of a certain actor in it. Just all sorts of problems in it, but yeah. It's considered a classic. Deep Blue Something wrote the song, remember? But who wrote the book Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was made into a film starring Audrey Hepburn in 1961, I believe. And finally, round 3, question 6, possibly my favourite rom-com of all time, Four Weddings and a Funeral, starring Hugh Grant and Annie MacDonald, features which W.H. Auden poem? So round 3, question 6, very famous scene in the movie. Definitely has to be like one of the funniest movies to come out of Britain. Richard Curtis wrote Blackadder, wrote it. But yes, it's a cracking movie. I think from what I read, a lot of the actors all just wore their own clothes for this. There's no costume department here because it's such done on the cheap. Round 3, question 6. Four Weddings and a Funeral, starring Hugh Grant and Annie MacDonald, features which W.H. Auden poem? That's round 3, question 6. And there's your roundup there, all about rom-coms. So yes, round 3, question 1, written by Nora Ephron, which 1989 film raised the question, can men and women ever just be friends? 2, in the 1987 movie Dirty Dancing, what is Baby Houseman's first name? 3, Lucy We're Made of You Got Mail, at which 1940 American rom-com started Margaret Sullivan and James Stewart. 4, John Gordon Sinclair and Dee Hepburn starred in which 1981 Scottish coming-of-age rom-com? And finally, Four Weddings and a Funeral, starring Hugh Grant and Annie MacDonald, features which W.H. Auden poem? Auden? Anyways, that is round 3 over and done with. And we're kind of sticking with the theme of kind of celebrities and movies and actors and actresses here. TV kind of mixed in with this one. So here is your next round tonight. We're just flying through this quiz this evening. Here it is, round number 4. And it's all about famous couples. Very straightforward this round. I'm going to show you the other half of a famous celebrity couple. All you have to do is work out who the other half is. It sounds simple and straightforward enough. Anyway, let's see how you do with this. Here's your first celeb partner. Let's have a look. David Furnish, round 4, question number 1. Big Nerd Love quiz here tonight. David Furnish, round 4, question number 1, is the partner of who? Round 4, question number 1. David Furnish. The theatre director, I believe. Designer. Round 4, question 1. David Furnish. The partner and spouse of which other famous person? Round 4, question 1. Round 4, question 2. Amal Alamuddin. So Amal Alamuddin. Sorry, apologies if I can't pronounce that correctly. Amal Alamuddin. Okay, that should be it. Amal Alamuddin is the better half, or the other half of which other famous person? Round 4, question 2. Round 4, question 3. Jada Pinkett. It's round 4, question 3. Jada Pinkett. Starred in the Matrix sequels as Naomi. And his other half is a very well-known actor-singer. But yes, round 4, question 3. Jada Pinkett. Next up, Iman. Round 4, question 4. Married to which other famous person? Round 4, question 4. Iman. I think Somali-born American supermodel. Married to very influential person. Round 4, question 4. Iman. Other half, who? Next up, round 4, question 5. Sacha Baron Cohen. It's the man behind Ali G, Borat, Bruno. But who is his rather well-known other half? It's round 4, question 5. Sacha Baron Cohen. And next up, round 4, question 6. Portia de Rossi. Partner to which very well-known person? Portia de Rossi, they're famous for Lindsay Bluth in Arrested Development comedy series. I never actually watched the last season of it, or the new season of it, because it just didn't feel right, you know? I know it all got renewed and all, but yeah, the first 3 seasons were gold. The first 2 anyway, absolute gold, but I don't know. It's round 4, question 6, Portia de Rossi. And there is your roundup there of famous couples. So yes, who's the other half? So yes, David Furnish, Amal Alamuddin, Jada Pinkett, Iman, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Portia de Rossi. Give you a couple of minutes on those before we move on to the next one. Like I said, identify the other half. Alright, so we have reached the halfway point of our Big Nerd Love Quiz. Thank you very much for joining me tonight on this very wet and windy Valentine's Day here in Warren Point, County Down. Like I said, it didn't look like this. We had so much stuff coming over our wall. Like there's so much seaweed, and like I found a shoe in there as well. Like it was just proper, like battering us. And also very disappointing for the Irish rugby team today. They were so close beating the French at the Aviva, and it's one of those things. It's very sad that I can't actually go down and watch any of the games. I normally would be at 1 or 2 of them this year, but yes, alas, alack, we're all under lockdown. But it was one of those things. Like I haven't really expected much from Ireland this year, so the fact that they did all right actually was a little bit. It's a bit of a relief, and they played well against not a great Welsh side. Commiserations to the Scots as well. They were again so close when it came to beating the Welsh. But yes, fantastic to see the rugby back. I'm loving the Six Nations. It's my favourite time of the year. Anyway, let's move on to the next round tonight. And you're probably wondering, like I said, there's a nice segue into what I'm going to be doing next. Round 5 is all about sports. And you're probably looking at me thinking, how has he got questions about Valentine's Day and sports here? Just wait till you see. I have managed to do it, okay? So yes, enjoy this sports round. It's not too difficult, but it's quite fun. You'll see where I'm going with this once we do it. Here we go. Here's round 5, question number 1. How many points does love equal in the game of tennis? It's round 5, question number 1. See? See what I've done there? Round 5, question 1. How many points does love equal in the game of tennis? Round 5, question number 1 there. Big Nerd Love Quiz. All about sports. So yeah, managed to get them in every week. Next up, round 5, question 2. Hearts Football Club is based in which Scottish city? That's round 5, question 2. There's a football team, I think, in the Netherlands, and they're from a particular region of Holland that have they have a blue and white strip with little hearts on them as well. It's quite a cool jersey, and it's based on the flag of the province. But yes, Hearts Football Club, based in which Scottish city? See what I did there? Yeah, clever. Round 5, question 2. Round 5, question 3. Danny Rose plays for which English Premier League football team? That's round 5, question 3. So round 5, question 3. Danny Rose plays for which English Premier League football team? There he is, playing for England. But who's he currently play for now? It's round 5, question 3. Round 5, question 4. The Elvis song, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, is the club anthem for which English football team? I think I did cover this a couple of quizzes ago when we came to sporting anthems. But I think that one of the club podcasts is called Wise Men Say. Get it? Only fools walking. So that's round 5, question 4. The Elvis song, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, is the club anthem for which English football team? Featured on the Elvis movie Blue Hawaii. One of his biggest songs. Most well-known tunes. Next up, round 5, question 5. Which sport does champion Valentino Rossi participate in? Get it? Valentine? Huh? See? No? Okay. Considered to be one of the greats in the sport. It's won like loads and loads of stuff. But yes, what sport does champion Valentino Rossi participate in? And finally, round 5, question 6. Grant and Andy Flower played international cricket for which country? Again, see what I did there? You know? Flower, rose, hearts. Yeah. I think that was, as far as Valentine's themed sports questions go, I think those were pretty good. Round 5, question 6. Grant and Andy Flower played international cricket for which country? Not county, no. Country. And there's your roundup of questions all about sport. Kind of Valentine's Day themed in there. How many points does love equal in the game of tennis? 2. Hearts Football Club is based in which Scottish city? 3. Danny Rose plays for which English Premier League football team? 4. The Elvis song, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, is the club anthem for which English football team? 5. What sport does champion Valentino Rossi participate in? And finally, Grant and Andy Flower play international cricket for which country? Give me a couple of seconds to mull over those before we move on to the next round tonight. Okay, so round 5 all over and done with. I think as far as thanks very much for Kyle for suggesting some of those. But because we were watching the rugby on Discord together, and I was trying to come up with a quiz whilst watching the game. But yes, I'm really, really glad I got those done. Anyways, moving on to the next round this evening. Round number 6. I figured I'd do one about your man himself. Now, not to say there's not much known about this guy, but St. Valentine's Day himself. So this is questions all about Valentine's Day, kind of the saint and kind of the religious aspects of it. So yes, let's see how you do with this. It's probably not as well known as say like Santa or like St. Patrick or whatever, but yes, quite important. Quite one of the better known saints these days. But anyway, here we go. Round 6, question number 1. In which modern day country was St. Valentine born? And around 226 AD. 226 AD. As round 6, question 1. Believe he was believed to be a priest or a bishop of the early Christian Catholic Church. But yes, in which modern day country was St. Valentine from? Where was Valentine? Where was he from? born in and around 226 AD. That's round 6, question number 1. Round 6, question 2. Interesting local link here, but in which church in Dublin, Ireland, are this relics of St. Valentine purported to actually be there? So yes, very interesting. There is a big link, and it's a tradition thing. It's very well celebrated in Dublin itself. The actual relics, or supposed relics, of this particular saint. So which church in Dublin are these relics of St. Valentine? Where are they? It's round 6, question 2. Round 6, question 3. Which chocolate company created fancy boxes, a decorated box of chocolates in the shape of a heart for Valentine's Day in 1868, therefore starting a big trend of giving people chocolates on this particular day? It's quite interesting researching this, actually. So when did we start really copping on about this particular saint and love and everything like that? But yes, round 6, question 3. Which chocolate company created fancy boxes, a decorated box of chocolates in the shape of a heart for St. Valentine's Day in 1868? They say the actual whole thing about Valentine's cards as well kind of actually became more popular because of the introduction of the penny black stamp. So yes, thank you Victorians, for that. It's round 6, question 3. Round 6, question 4. Which poem by Geoffrey Chaucer, guy behind the Canterbury Tales, was the first to mention Valentine's Day in a romantic context, or amongst one of the first to mention Valentine's Day in a romantic context? They consider this to be one of the earliest sources, or the earliest mentions of Valentine's Day, not as a feast day, but as something associated with fertility and new life and love and stuff like that. But yes, round 6, question 4. Which poem by Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to mention St. Valentine's Day in a romantic context? Round 6, question 4. Round 6, question 4. Sorry, I think we just dropped out there for a second. See what happens. Round 6, question 5. Which saint do the Welsh consider the patron saint of love and celebrate it on the 25th of January? It's an interesting one. If you're Welsh, you probably know this. But yes, round 6, question 5. Which saint do the Welsh consider to be the patron saint of love and celebrated on the 25th of January? It's round 6, question 5. It's Conway Castle there in Wales. And finally, round 6, question 6. What date is Valentine's Day according to the Eastern Orthodox Church? That's quite a tough one, I will admit. If you don't know it, you don't know it. I think a good guess, is required for this one. It's just a little fact I picked up about Valentine's himself when I was doing my research. But round 6, question 6. What date is Valentine's Day according to Eastern Orthodox Church? It's round 6, question number 6. There's a roundup questions all about St. Valentine's Day. So yes, round 6, question 1. In which modern day country was St. Valentine born in and around 226 AD? 2. In which church in Dublin, Ireland are the relics of St. Valentine? 3. Which chocolate company created fancy boxes, a decorated box of chocolates in the shape of a heart for Valentine's Day in 1868? 4. Which poem by Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to mention Valentine's Day in a romantic context? 5. Which saint do the Welsh consider to be the patron saint of love, celebrated on the 25th of January? And finally, number 6. What date is Valentine's Day according to the Eastern Orthodox Church? Yes, I do find that one was quite tricky, but it was like I said, very interesting stuff to read up about and to find out all about. Why do we celebrate this big Hallmark gift day And like I said, it just falls, a month enough after Christmas, so we have a fair bit of money in our pockets after our January paychecks. And then, kind of bridges that gap in between Easter, But yes, don't forget, it is Pancake Tuesday this Tuesday. And let's move on to the next round. Next round this evening. Still sticking with love, still all about big nerd love stuff. Round 7 is I Love You. You probably understand. Trying to work out what this is all about. I'm going to show you I love you. I'm going to say I love you in 6 different languages. Now, apologies if I'm not going to get these right. All you have to do is guess which language I'm speaking when I'm saying this, or what it says down here. If I make a complete balls up of the pronunciations, forgive me. I am not the best even speaker of English, so. But anyway, I love you. Questions all about love. Let's see how you do with this. Round 7, question number 1. Ti amo. I think this is the easiest one of them all. And again, I think it helps if you just say it. Ti amo. What is that? Which language is that there? Ti amo. I love you is I love you in which language? Round 7, question 2. Wo ai nai is your second one. Wo ai nai. Sounds like something like a mixture of Geordie and Belfast. Why I nai? Why I nai? Tried my best with the research on this, but yeah, why I nai is I love you in which language? Round 7, question 2. I've only myself to blame when it comes to making these questions anyway. But anyway, round 7, question 3. Sene Civiciorum. Sene Civiciorum is I love you in which language? Sene Civiciorum. Again, apologies if I'm not nailing this. Tried my best. Should have looked it up in Google Translate, actually. Next up. Oh, God. I can't pronounce this. She Tiru. And it's just kind of breaking that down. Eat. Ew. Oh, gosh. Apologies if I'm making a complete mess of this. Round 7, question 4. Again, if you can kind of imagine what it kind of sounds like in the particular language, maybe that works. Ashitiru is I love you in what language? Here's another one. Round 7, question 5. Kocham che. Kocham che, or I'm not even going to begin to pretend. Again, totally my fault, but I thought it'd be a really good idea for a round. Saying it's one of the key phrases of Valentine's Day, Roses are red, violets are blue. Here's Big Nerd Love Quiz, just for you. Terrible, terrible rhyme. Anyway, next one, and the final one, round 7, question 6. Again, I can't even. An-yo-em. An-yo-em. Is round 7, question 6. Is I love you in which language? Again, this is a really tough round, but I thought it was fun. And again, if you try to kind of sound them out and kind of what language it kind of sounds like, maybe you'll get there. It's round 7, question 6. A-yo-em. And there's your roundup of questions all about I love you in different languages. So te amo. Wo ai nai, sana savioran, ashituru, kocham che, an-yo-em is I love you in which languages? Match them up there, guys. It's your penultimate round this evening. We're coming on to the final one. I hope you've all enjoyed this quiz so far. Like I said, coming up to... Actually, God, we really speeded through the night's quiz. It's just coming on to 7:45 here on Valentine's Day. I do have one or two wee shout-outs to do. Let's see. Have Adrian Potager. He's doing a shout-out to Alda's End. Potager's two generations of the family playing now. Good to hear from you. Also, we've got... Let's see... Like Stephen McAvoy, he's a regular viewer as well. He sent me a message there as well. Let's have a wee look. Yes. Oh yes, Sean Owen. Glad you're still doing the quizzes. Could you give a shout out to myself and my girlfriend Shannon and her folks Sean and Lillian? Really appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good show. Thank you very much. Also, let's have a wee look. See if we can 5 requests. Most of these are always spam. Nope, none in there. How do we shout it? Yes, Stephen O'Hara. We messaged there about the quiz. Yes, and just before I move on, don't forget I am on TV tomorrow on BBC Two. So if you want to see what I'm like under pressure answering questions, quick fire quiz questions, then do check it out. BBC Two tomorrow at 6:30, and I'm on throughout the week. So yes, there's a couple of episodes. Do check it out. Lightning, BBC Two, starring Zoe Lyons. It's a really interesting quiz. Pretty. I'm not saying that the questions were tough, but they were it's quite interesting doing a quiz like that, especially under pressure. But I'll show some clips of it later on. And don't forget next week's quiz, just before we move on to the final round. Next week's quiz, I'm not doing it on Sunday. I'm actually going to do it on Saturday as part of the 24-hour radiothon, which is going to be next Saturday at 8 p.m. I'm going to do the quiz. So yes, just doing it a day earlier as part of the 24-hour radiothon. Going to be on air for 24 hours on Harbourside Radio, and that's to raise money for the station itself, to keep us going. Been tough times during this pandemic, but yes, we set up a GoFundMe page. It's on our site, and I'll definitely post this up to our page at some point so people can donate to that. Really, really worth it. Anyway, let's move on to tonight's final round, and yes, then we're going to take a quick break. And I'll see if I can get your scores for you and give you the answers. So here's tonight's final round. And it's all about gods of love. Yes, throughout history there's been many deities all dedicated to love and fertility and everything like that. I'm going to give you 6. All you have to do is tell me that's it. It's very, very simple. So here we go. Gods of love. Let's see how you do with this. Round 8, question number 1. Aphrodite. It's your first one tonight. Aphrodite. Where is that particular god or goddess from? Where is that deity from? That's round 8, question number 1. Aphrodite. From which culture or which historical... So yes, Aphrodite, round 8, question 1. Aphrodite is from where? Which culture is the god or goddess Aphrodite from? Mostly all female, I think, for romance. Round 8, question 2, Freya. Again, I think the clue's in the name, really. If you can kind of figure that one out, it's Freya is the god of love from which culture? Round 8, question 2. Next up, round 8, question 3, Cupid. Cupid. You know the one cherub thing with the bow and arrow? Yep, Cupid. But is a god from which particular country? Or which particular historical civilization? That's your third one. Moving on to the next one, round 8, question 4, Venus. Yes, famously named after the planets. Or the planets named after the gods. Round 8, question 4, Venus. Where is that particular deity from? Next up, round 8, question 5, Eros. Now, Eros, interestingly enough, is the god featured on the statue in Piccadilly Circus. A lot of people think it's Cupid. It's actually not. It's Eros. You can see when you're exiting Piccadilly Circus station, there's a sign that says Eros is this way. And yes, probably one of the most photographed fountains in the world, up there with the Trevi Fountain. But yes, round 8, question 5. Here comes your final question tonight. Don't forget, once you hear it, you'll get your answers at the very end. But do stick about to see how you've got on. You'll get your scores. So, Hathor. I've never heard of this one before, but round 8, question 6. Hathor is god of love, particularly which civilization? Hathor. If I'd put pictures up, it would have been dead giveaway for this one, so I kind of figured I'd go without them for that. Anyway, that is your roundup for today. Final round: Aphrodite, Freya, Cupid, Venus, Eros, and Hathor. Match the countries or the civilizations to those gods, goddesses, deities, whatever, what have you. Okay, guys, we're just going to take a quick break, right? 5 minutes. I'm going to see if I can get the scores up. I had a bit of issues with this before, but I've been doing this in terms of private quizzes. I can actually get the final standings for you and actually show and give a couple of shout outs to whoever has come in the top 5. So yes, 5 minute break. Very, very short. And then we're going to come back and then we're going to go through the answers for tonight's quiz. See how you've all got on. And yes, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Alright guys, I'm not having much luck with that. The internet is ridiculously slow. We've got some issues, so we're just gotta go through the answers. You know how well you've done yourself. Let me know how you figure you've got on. Just send me a message and I'll see if I can give you a wee shout out at some point. But listen, thanks so much for taking part. Here are tonight's answers for tonight's quiz. Let's see how you've done tonight. Questions all about big nerd love stuff. So here we go, round 1 answers. So yes, the Valentine's Day Massacre took place in Chicago. YouTube was founded on this day in 2005. Happy birthday, YouTube. The telephone was patented by Alexander Graham Bell on this day in 1878. Israel is the home of the Knesset. Founded our first sitting today in 1949. Glenormand Street is that famous children's hospital in London, founded on this day back then. And International Business Machine, IBS, those computer tabulated machineries, that's what that is, that's what it became. La Marseillaise opens the famous Beatles track, All You Need Is Love. Dolly Parton wrote I Will Always Love You for Whitney Houston. Oh, she wrote it all the way back in the 70s. In fact, wrote it on the same day as she wrote Jolene. Next up, Romeo and Juliet was the movie featuring Love Filled by the Cardigans. The Magnetic Fields is the group. The album 69 Love Songs. If you haven't heard it, do listen to it. It's fantastic. Pet Sounds features God Only Knows, considered to be one of the greatest love songs ever written. And Your Song by Elton John features those lyrics that I mentioned. The rom-coms, When Harry Met Sally is Can Men and Women Be Friends? It's question number 1 there. Frances was the name of Jennifer Grey's character in Dirty Dancing. Shop Around the Corner was the one based on You've Got Mail, Jimmy Stewart. Gregory's Girl, the 1981 Scottish football rom-com. Truman Capote wrote the book Breakfast at Tiffany's. And Funeral Blues, Stop All the Clocks. That's the one that's recited at the funeral. In 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Round 4. So those famous spouses, David Furnish, obviously Elton John, Amal Clooney, George Clooney, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Iman, David Bowie, Isaac Fisher, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Ellen DeGeneres, Portia de Rossi. That's round 4. So your sports questions all about love is 0. Hearts are based in Edinburgh in Scotland. Danny Rose plays for Tottenham Hotspur. Sunderland FC have the song I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Motorcycle road racing, Paolo Rossi is the big champion of that. And Zimbabwe, the Rose Brothers, that's who they played for. Question's all about St. Valentine. So St. Valentine was actually from Italy. Whitefriar Street Carmelite Church is where the relics of St. Valentine is said to have been interred. Cadbury's invented the heart-shaped chocolate box back in the day. Parliament of Fools, and that's the way it's actually spelt. Parliament of Fools is the Geoffrey Chaucer book, which mentions Valentine's Day in a romantic context. Divinin is the saint, the Welsh saint, who's the patron saint of love in Wales. And the 6th of July. The 6th of July is St. Valentine's Day, according to the Eastern Orthodox Church. So those Italian, Chinese, Turkish, Japanese, Polish, and Vietnamese were the answers there for I love you in all those different languages. I think Ti amo was pretty easy. But the rest, pretty difficult. And fair play if you got any of those right. And finally, so those gods and goddesses, it goes Greek, Norse, Roman, Greek, and Egyptian. So yes, I thought kind of a very interesting one putting that one together. But like I said, all the civic countries and civilizations all have their own deities there. Guys, thank you so much for playing tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, like I said before. Back again next Saturday at 8 p.m. And it'll be on the Facebook page for Harbourside Radio, because that's where I'm going to be doing the 24-hour radiothon. So don't miss that. If you want to play Big Nerd Pub Quiz next week, I'll be very, very tired on Sunday next week, because I'm going to be staying awake all day. So yes, that'll be a really interesting day. If you want to see me, what I'm going to be like at 2 o'clock in the morning with very little sleep, by all means, to Harbourside Radio. And I'm not going to be alone doing this, by the way. I'm going to be joined by all the great hosts that we have here on the station. They're all going to come in and do an hour or two with me, keep me company throughout the day, and I'm going to be fed by some local businesses. But like I said, doing that as part of a big fundraiser for Harbourside Radio. So yes, do check us out. Check out our website. Check out our social media. All the bits and bobs there, because we do put on some fantastic shows. And like I said, it's an absolute pleasure for me to do Big Nerd Pub Quiz from here as well. Guys, thank you so much again. Like I said, on again next week. Give you the end screen there. There we go. On again next week on Saturday the 20th of February, my sister's birthday, on Harbourside Radio's Facebook page. Don't miss it. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all soon. And hopefully what I'll do is actually take out the quiz part and actually broadcast it on Sunday as well, so you can play along. But you can see how tired I'll be there that night. Thanks again, guys. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you all again soon. Good night.